Good morning. How's everybody doing? All right. Yeah, there's something going on with YouTube where they're not updating the subscriber count. So I'm going to have to just get over that and just do what I got to do and see what happens there. I wasn't aware. Mike Franzese does an interview with Karen Gravano. And is there anything, does Mike Franzese have any scruples at all? I mean, in lieu of everything, after the fact, a big Christian and everything, so he's interviewing her. There's a channel, Chatting with Stacks, and I watched that. Good morning, Leon. I watched that, and Angel Gotti gets on that webcast, and they're watching it together, and she's watching Chatting with Stacks, and Angel are watching the Mike Franzese interview with Karen Gravano, the Sammy the Gravano's daughter. And the apple doesn't fall far from the tree at all. At all. She is full of shit. So if anybody gets a chance to watch that, it's a must-see. And Angel Gotti, forgive me, I went on her channel and everything else. You know, I like Mike Franzese. I hate Mike Franzese. I always hate Sammy the Bull, and Angel Gotti, and you know, you're bombarded by these things and you try to process them. But the way Angel Gotti reacted to this scumbag Karen Gravano was impressive, was very, very impressive. And she would have a right to just MF and just go off on it. Karen Gravano's using her name and her family name on all these other social medias, trying to bait Angel Gotti into that to give Karen scumbag Gravano credibility and legitimize her. And Angel Gotti just doesn't entertain it. She's come a long way in processing all that life and everything else. She won't get fooled again to get baited into things. And so Karen Gravano was on some mob reality thing, and they hyped it up to do fights, and you know, she just buys into it. She's with the Gravanos, they sell their ass on the corner. I mean, they're just classless. That's all it is. She's trying to say that the Gravanos they were afraid that the Gottis, Karen Gravano said, they were afraid that the Gottis were gonna retaliate and go after them, and the FBI said you got to be careful and everything else. John Gotti, and it was stated way before, he said, "Don't touch a hair on their heads. Don't, just leave it alone." The class of that guy in prison, probably on his last bed, and the class, in lieu of everything that was done, said, "No, don't bother. You know, don't bother with them." But Karen Gravano's acting like they were in fear of their lives, that somebody from the Gotti crew was going to come over and whack them. You see how they sell their souls. You see, it's ridiculous. Is that a testimony to just Joe Blow viewer out in the world and United States of America, that they want to entertain what Karen Gravano has to say because then the name is a recognizable name? Well, I want to hear what Angel, my feeling and temperament and everything is, because I'm half nuts, but because you get bombarded by all this, and maybe you try to get it, but I was wrong. I'm man enough to say I'll change my impression about Angel Gotti, because I think for the impact and everything of being the daughter and everything, she went through more than that scum rat's daughter, Minnie Mouse. We'll call her Minnie Mouse. Karen Gravano, the Minnie Mouse. Minnie Rat, we'll call her Minnie Mouse. And psychologically, Angel Gotti, you could tell by, she was on Chatting with Stacks, and she's watching this, and she doesn't really bash or MF Karen Gravano, even in lieu of all this bullshit she's witnessing her say. That's quite impressive, Angel Gotti. That's very, very impressive. And Mike Franzese is interviewing. It's the Mike Franzese is interviewing Karen Gravano, and it's like, Mike, you're a nitwit. Oh, our families got devastated, and everybody, yeah, my sisters and all this. Yeah, we all know that, Mike. We all know that same story, that same narrative and everything. You got the Cayunes that people won't even care because they don't have any scruples. They just want to hear this shit, to sell your ass for an interview with Karen Gravano. Wow. Mike, you're a scrub. You are a scrub. You're a scrub. You put yourself in the same light as Sammy the Bull Gravano. Yeah. And you were a rat too, Mike, while we're on the subject. Here's to you. Here's some coffee. Go get a coffee. You were a rat too. John Gotti was the last of the Mohicans. And you got these other people. Well, John Gotti was talking about John Gotti was smart enough of a chess player that probably knew what was going to happen down the road. But the true blue man and the true blue gangster, Sammy the Bull can't tie John Gotti's shoes. He was the weasel, always walking. I mean, he was never in the Gotti house. He was always on the side of the, it's just what the people see on the FBI tapes that you think they had a relationship, of course. And people frequented other people's houses. But how come John Gotti only let Sammy the Bull Gravano in his house twice? After supposed to have a very, very close relationship, but you don't want that rodent near your family. No matter how buddy you are out in the mafia world, you don't want that rodent near your family. So I happened to catch that video on Chatting with Stacks. Sounds like a New Yorker. I believe he's a New Yorker. And it was quite interesting. Mike Franzese interviews Karen Gravano. Mutt and Jeff. And she did some reality TV thing, and they're staging fights and all that. And she's going to piggyback it and suck the blood out of anything she could get her hands on. But it was very impressive when this guy connected Angel Gotti into it, and they were watching that interview together. And it was very impressive, Angel Gotti, how she reacted and held her composure, and the psychology she had, and very impressive. Forgive me for whatever I said in the past or anything like that. You're bombarded by so much stuff, and if I was wrong, I was wrong. I said, well, she gets on there with some other girl and it's like Jerry Springer or whatever. Yeah, I said that kind of stuff. But you know what? That's social media. But she was her regular self in this, and that was impressive. So I give her the highest accolades of psychology and behavior and her temperament. Angel Gotti is quite impressive to maintain that posture. To watch the daughter of a rat, and she's a bigger scum, the apple don't fall far, and she uh, did everything in a well-respected manner in replying, because he's stopping the tape, the kid's stopping the tape and saying, watch this, Angel, look what she says now, look what she says now, bah, 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 bah. And Angel just kept maintaining her strength and her psychology. She's come to a level in her mind and her thinking apparatus where she puts all this in a certain light and she's not shaken. They can't derive that emotional F you, you're like, they can't, poke her like that, and she's not falling for that gibberish. Quite impressive. Anybody else would be like, she's a, I'm saying it. I'm saying Karen Gravano is a rodent, but because she saw a hustle to do all, because the TV networks and reality TV and all that, the mob children, mob wives, and all that bullshit, that it's a moneymaker. It's a moneymaker, and it's a hustle. But that was very impressive, Angel Gotti. Very, very impressive. My hat goes off to you. Yeah, Angel, I apologize for anything I said before. You're a stand-up woman. You're very well adjusted, and it was very, very impressive. And chatting with Stax, that was cool. You put that on there, because I never saw the original Mike Franzese interviews Karen Gravano. I don't know how that got by me, but yeah. So that's that. I wanted to compliment Angel Gotti, more or less, this video for you get so crazy. I do this channel, you get so crazy, and your emotions, and you're up and down and everything, and the hair trigger stuff. But at the end of the day, my mind is made up that I'm learning as I go, and the Gotti family has more class in their pinky finger than any generation that'll ever be reared from Gravanos. They got more class. And if the people don't know it, they don't care to know it, because they just want to watch the Gravano commentary. Even though the people know they're the filth of the earth, they still want to watch it. And that's social media. So accept it, JoJo. It's the way it is. Social media. You need to take a course in social media 101, a cup of JoJo. But in the real world, out of this virtual world, it just rubs you the wrong way. But we have to accept it and process it differently, because that's social media, virtual bullshit. And Angel Gotti was quite impressive while she was watching that interview. And Mike Franzese, come on, buddy. You stoop to those low levels. You stoop to that low level to interview her. And, he's there has to be something more to it, because I would think that Mike Franzese wouldn't touch that with a 10-foot pole. And all of a sudden, here it is, Mike Franzese does an interview with Karen Gravano. There's something more behind that. There's something more behind that. You would think that he would refuse. I mean, They were Sammy the Bull and Mike Franzese were ready to go at it on that video. Their sit down video, they're ready to go at it. Now you're talking to the daughter because you want to insight how the mafia affected the children. Yeah. We know that already. Yeah, we get that. That's understandable. Put that aside. Okay. We're not insensitive to that. But in the same breath, why would you want anything to do with your arch enemy's daughter? Like, you're sympathetic toward the daughter that, all the children were ruined and Mike, yeah. Yeah. He's got another agenda. He's got another agenda for that interview he did with Karen Gravano. So, wow. Well, and shout out to Chantwood Stacks that he showed that interview, and Angel Gotti happened to get right on that podcast while he was showing that. That was pretty cool, and she was very impressive. What a woman for what she's been through and everything else, and very impressive. I apologize, Angel Gotti, for anything bad I said before, because you process things psychologically and the way you reacted to stuff. And people would say, "Oh, John Gotti's daughter Angel, she's gonna," But the class and composure and the intellect and IQ she demonstrated when she was watching this rodent, Karen Gravano, very impressive. Very impressive. All right. Hit the like button, hit the share button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification button, do all that, and recognize some spirituality today. Let's try to grow. That was entertaining stuff. That was very entertaining, and I'm going to keep plugging away, and we'll just see where it goes. And be the kings and queens of your world. Don't give up. The world is a vampire, like the Gravano family. They want your blood. They'll suck everything out of everything. That's all right. Rise up, fight back. That's all. So thanks a lot, folks. God bless you. My hat's off to Angel Gotti, and quite impressive.